These 12% of black men who voted for this psycho. I sat home. I'm looking forward to them get their by the police officers. I'm not going to protest under no circumstance at all. So I'm sitting my back with my popcorn and.
Hey, what's up? Well, the election's passed. I want to take some time to evaluate what happened. Yeah, you read the title right. It's crazy, man. I was very surprised how angry people are. Really angry. A lot of people are. When Kamala was running, and toward the end, I kept hearing people say, especially black men, pretty much just black men, that Kamala's a she's been passed around. She's a I was like, what? I'd ask people, I said, why would you call her a Well, she was with Willie Brown, the mayor of San Francisco one. She was with Montel Williams, and she's married a white guy. And I was like, that makes her a She's 60 years old. You name 3 people, and she's a wow, man. I'm not sure if you know this, though, but your dad ain't the first one that beat up your mom thing, your box, okay? He wasn't the first one that was up in there. Trust me. She had a college life and a high school life, yes. Your mama might have had a couple of, things up in her, too. So I'm quite sure you don't want to call her a But what really bothered me was we as black people, sometimes when we hit a certain amount of success, people get envious and start throwing and hurling like the worst slanderous things about somebody because they're successful. I remember hearing about it in Hollywood. If you make it successful in Hollywood, you got to be gay. You suck with it to make it, or whatever. You slept with a lot of people to make it. Like, people are just not happy for your happiness or don't understand you could be where you are because of hard work. Like, people, I guess it's the people who aren't either working hard or not successful enough in their lives. When they see someone else more successful, they want to bring them down. I don't know. Is that what it is? But to call this young lady, Kamala Harris, or really? Especially a black man, brother, really? That's what you want to call her? As you look at her life, she moved up every single time in her life. And you're trying to just say it's because of she slept around? That woman couldn't be educated enough and study hard to become the next level and move up and move up and move up in life? Holy man. I'm not around enough white people, so maybe white men do the same thing to white women. I don't know. But it's too much on us, man. So many people love how we look and what we do in our movement. But amongst ourselves, we would tear ourselves down. We'll tear ourselves down. Whenever we see a little bit of, I get the crab in the barrel, but we got to change that mentality. Other people don't do that to themselves. I travel, I see that. I don't get it. I know it's the Willie Lynch syndrome, but when are we going to say enough's enough amongst ourselves, man? Okay, if you didn't like the lady, that's fine. If you didn't like Kamala, that's fine. But to relegate her to a and a while she was running, really? Black men, really? Is this what we look at? Is this how we see our women? Don't do that to some woman who's educated and done well. Don't do that. Don't do that. Well, she really hasn't proven that at all. She ain't out there selling no ass, seeing on TV, twerking, putting shit in people's faces and stuff, just trying to sell her body or whatever, or tell people she need cash and all that. Okay, I've seen when you call them a maybe okay, whatever. That attitude, that action, that. But to just say because you feel like she's been with too many men, 60 years old and been with 3 minutes, you can say, but your mama could have been with many men she could have been with before your father, and she's not a no. Don't ever do that, man.
Okay, I have to talk about this 4B movement for a second. I didn't want to because I didn't look into it. All I did was see these crazy people shaving their heads in a protest to women's rights. So what the 4B movement actually is a movement that was started in, I believe, Korea, that the women were protesting having children until they got rights. Women's rights, like the right to vote, equality, things we all have. So essentially, they didn't procreate, which essentially hurts the government. Fair. Now let's fast forward to 2020, American 4B movement. Since we're going on kind of the same concept, abstaining from sex and procreating. Break it down for you real simple. They are abstaining from sex to avoid procreation because they can't make the choice to avoid procreation. Listen to that again. I won't have sex to not have babies because if I have sex, I don't want to have the baby anyway. There's no way I can be this intelligent. I am convinced that half the world has an IQ of under 60 because this is common sense to me. This is very simple. Words of advice: the winters get cold, get earmuffs. Take it from me. And honestly, I'm questioning men at this point because half of these women that are doing this, I mean, do guys really sleep with you?
Y'all so funny.
I can tell you guys something. As a person that has been on social media for a very long time, I've seen men of all different walks of life talk a certain type of way about women. If they're not talking, then they are performing certain actions which are severely negative. I've seen this from Latin men. I've seen this from Asian men. I've seen this from Caucasian men. I've seen this from Arab men. I've seen this from African men. I've seen this from European men. So again, there's a lot of information directly out there. And from Pierre or Perrier, whatever his name is, from whatever he was speaking, how he said that, oh, he travels the world, he sees a lot of stuff. But then he wanted to turn around and up there say that, oh, maybe other races of guys do these things. I'm not really sure. I'm not too privy on it. Then why speak on it? Why even try to bring them up as to say, hey, these other guys aren't doing it, but look at what black men are doing? The craziest thing is that I'm trying to figure out what group of black men specifically is he talking about? Because when we look at the stats, when we look at who voted, black men showed up. So are you talking about black men in general, or are you talking about some small grouping that you saw directly online that is not a representation of either the Republican side or the Democrat side? Who specifically are you talking about? Why not be specific? You have a platform, you have a voice, you have money. You could hire somebody to go online and literally find these things so that it's like, hey, we got A, B, C, D. This is what I'm talking about per examples. You could literally do that, but he's too lazy to even do that. So he wants to use his voice, use his platform to generalize black men. He wants to do the exact same thing that Obama tried to do. He's doing the exact same thing Al Sharpton is doing. He's doing the exact thing Plies and many other black men who are celebrities were out here doing because they were really pushing, really hoping for Kamala. And again, I'm not even going to get into the whole thing of if she's black, if she's not. Again, if people didn't see the Shannon Sharp interview, then I don't know what else to happen to tell people. Again, she said what she said directly out of her mouth. But even with that, even from it coming from the source, people don't want to believe it. So here we are, yet again, where we have people wanting to spin this narrative as if to try to say that, yo, black men are really just this type of way when it deals with black women. They do this all the time. This is all black men are about. Black men are really misogynistic. They're really fearful of black women in leadership and yada, which makes no sense because when you think about the household, every black man has a black mother. She is basically a leader. Beyond the mother, every black man has a grandmother. She's also a leader. And I'm pretty sure some may have an older sister. So in some way, fashion, or form, there has been a black woman in a leadership type of position at one point in time in his life. So to try to say that black men are fearful of black women in leadership makes no sense at all. Because if that was the case, then we would have just completely abandoned the household and we would have just been woofing it up on the streets, just trying to figure out something. But again, that wasn't the case. I need to know, where's Uncle Luke from? Where is he from? I'm just trying to figure out, because this is some clownery right here to literally go out here. It's already enough. Like I said, I didn't report it on the ignorance of black women stating these things. And now you have a celebrity, right? Old school celebrity coming out here again, made just detrimental music. This is the same person that made music that hypersexualized black women way back in the late 80s, 90s, whatever timeline it was. Again, nothing positive. So Out of all of the time that this man has pretty much been retired, ain't been doing nothing, not in the spotlight, a lot of people in the new generation don't even know who he is. He pops up online and he decides to state that for the whatever percentage of black men that voted Republican or what have you, he pretty much hopes their demise. He's just going to sit back and watch the police do a great deal of many of things. He's not going to care. He's just going to have his popcorn and eat it up. That's a sick type of attitude, because I'm not sure if he realizes it, but under Democratic rule, we've already been having this. So during both the Obama and the Biden administration, these things were taking place. So why is it supernaturally that when Trump gets into office, magically everything is going to get 1,000 times worse? Like, I'm trying to figure out, I'm just trying to figure out, how does that take place? How? If under the Obama administration and the Biden administration, we've already been having this going on. We've already had the marches. We've already had the protests. We've already had this out. We've already had these conversations. How supernaturally is it going to get worser than the two past presidents? Are you going to say it's just going to be an all-out purge? It's going to be just extinction that's going to automatically happen? Like, as soon as he steps foot in office, it's just extinction. And then supernaturally, what's going to cover you as a melanated individual, because again, I don't know where he's from because of the way that he's talking about black men, black American men, sorry. You make it seem as though that since you voted for Kamala, that vote now covers you. You voted Democrat, so that vote is going to cover you and is going to make you impervious from anything that is happening to the other percentage of black men that you disagree with and you feel that deserve to no longer be here at this moment in time because of the way that they voted. This is the most stupidest, idiotic thing that I've ever heard in my life. And this is why you've heard elders state to the black community why you should never have celebrities as leaders. This is why. A lot of people who have an opinion don't deserve to have that opinion out there. A lot of opinions are ignorant. A lot of opinions are completely stupid. A lot of opinions lack a lot of any type of logic or intelligence. His is one of those, along with the many others that I've showcased on this platform over the years. And I'm going to go out on this limb right here. This is the reason why a lot of people say that the Democratic side of things are the most racist. This is why a lot of people will state, when it deals with black people, are some of the most racist people out here. I want to note to a lot of people that when it dealt with people talking about the demise or people no longer existing, all of the information that I was giving was coming directly from those in the black community, wishing these things on other people within the black community just over voting. If this literally came from any other race of people, black people will be crying, losing their minds, saying that something needs to be done. Those people, we need their information, yada. But when you have black people out here stating these things, this is why a lot of people say that the old people of yesteryear, they used to ride on horses, dressing all white with hoods and everything. This is why those people don't have to do anything. This is why they can just sit in a lazy boy. This is why they can just relax and just turn on the TV, because you have people like this and many others that will assassinate black people or the characters of black people, to put it in better terms, by way of social media, by way of videos that they happen to do. Look at a lot of rap. Look at the types of assassinations that take place when it deals with the imagery of black men and how it is that black people eat that up. Like I said, the work is already being done and others don't have to do it because it's running full steam ahead as they programmed it to. I've seen this woman's videos for quite some time now, and every single time I see her videos, I am stunned. I admire every single word that she says because she's speaking facts. Because in a lot of instances, some of the things that she has to talk about, specifically when it deals with her community, because she's a lesbian, she is speaking 100% facts. And only certain times, certain communities can speak on certain things better than others because, again, you would get called a multitude of things. But when it's coming from within, it's very hard to try to brand people in order to try to shut them up. So again, she is also a woman who loves women. And she stated that pretty much women just want to do this not only to, in a sense, try to act as though that is going to really affect men, but to also make sure that they don't have kids, which makes no sense because all you have to do is go to the very beginning step, which is, hey, abstain. Hey, use protection. Hey, do a variety of other things. But again, people try to really push this to the forefront and make it seem as though that this was really the it thing. This was the deciding factor. Yeah, they're really trying to take away rights. Yeah, they're really trying to do this. Yeah, they're really trying to do that. But then when you happen to hear information come directly from Trump, you end up learning other things. You hear opposite of what it is that the Democratic Party is directly trying to push or make you believe. This is why I tell people need to pay attention. You can be a Republican and not like the Democrats. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't hear some information, right? If you only hear from one side, you're missing the other half of the story because anybody can paint a narrative if they specifically know that you're only going to pay attention and listen to one side. The same thing with Democrats. If you're a Democrat, only listen to Democrats, you're going to be missing out on a lot of information. You can not like the Republican side or whatnot or whatever, but you should still turn an ear in order to listen and hear certain things so that people aren't lying directly to you in order to paint a narrative that is untrue in order to mislead you. And sadly to say, you have people out here that have understood that celebrities have been trying to mislead them for a very long time. And people are pretty much tired of it. People are pretty much tired of it. But anyways, back to the lady here. She gets it 100%. As a woman, she 100% sees through the BS and she gets it. And I like the comment that she said at the last part. She was like, and for the women to act like this, are guys even really dating you? Oh. And again, this is coming from a woman who loves women. So she's able to understand and see through the BS. You cannot, there's no way to sit up there and BS her. You can't. Like I said before, kudos to her and kudos to other women out there that can see through the Jedi mind tricks that those out there have been trying to force feed and push directly out there to the masses. Again, they've been trying to do this, they were doing this back in 2020 when they had Lotto and Stacey Abrams. They were doing the whole my body, my choice. And, oh, this is a real topic, a real issue. They're trying to do this and they're trying to, right? And she ended up losing the race, trying to lead in with that, trying to make that be the force push to gather everybody around. And here you go, the same thing with Kamala Harris, because at one point in time, Meg Thee Stallion said the same thing on stage. She was like, hey, if you really love your body, you're really about your body, make some noise. Yeah, it was the exact same thing that they were trying to press forward, the whole importance directly of it, along with a lot of other women that were representing Kamala Harris in the Democratic Party. Other than that, they didn't really have anything else to help carry them, to help bring them forth, to get the rest of the people. But like I said, it is what it is. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.